Hey guys, welcome to the Octopodd. Yes, that's Octopodd with 2 Ds. Why? Because in life, double Ds makes everything much better. I'm Curtis and I'm the loud one, and this is Chris. He is the fat one. Say hello.
Hi.
Sure. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 films we watched this week with Labyrinth, Blades of Glory,
Ooh.
and Sicario. And we're going to start off with Labyrinth.
Well, we always go in the order of how we watch them in the week.
I feel like that's the best way to do it. We're just going to go in order with what released first and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You know what's going on. You know the spiel. We've been doing it since day one, baby.
All right, so it's Labyrinth, a.k.a. Dongs Out the movie.
A.k.a. David Bowie's Dong the film.
Bro, I gotta be honest, at first I didn't notice, but as soon as you notice...
How do you not notice?
Because I'm not looking there.
Bro, he's literally just dong out. It's literally Boogie Nights 24/7 in that
I know,
film.
but like I'm not paying attention at all. But as soon as you kind of like catch on...
The problem, okay, here's the problem, all right? Every character is short. So the camera's always low to the short characters, and you just see his dong just sitting right next to their heads.
There was one point.
It's like with Hoggle. He was talking to Hoggle.
Hoggle was like got his nose in his. It was just weird,
dude,
man.
Hoggle's almost got his nose in his dong, bro. It's weird as hell. But it's like I told you, when he's talking to the short characters, the camera's down, and all you see is, let's say, Hoggle and dong. It's very bizarre.
It's so funny.
Yeah, and it just makes it even more pain. That's the thing. You cannot not notice it.
Like
his dong's just like in center focal point of
was
the film.
there any other kind of pants they could have David Bowie wear?
What I wonder is did David Bowie choose those pants purposely? He was just like, you know what? Let's just show some dong, you know?
He's like, either I wear this or I don't do the movie.
Oh, that was the
deal breaker.
That was the deal breaker. That was the line he drew, and he's just like, guys, spandex and dong, or I'm out of here.
Yep.
Impressive.
And they went with the spandex and dong.
Yeah, truly the most magical part of this film.
But I'm not even joking. Like I didn't notice it at first, but as soon as you do, man, it's like the entire film.
It's painful because you cannot unsee it.
And it's so bizarre, man. Because like it is predominantly a children's film,
which makes it even a little bit more weird.
That you just have like dong out the whole.
You just
film.
had a David Bowie dong in a. I wouldn't say it's 100% a child's film.
No, but it's predominantly aimed for that kind of audience.
Oh, probably.
Like like when people went to the theater to see this back in the day, like, oh, this would be a great movie to take my kids to.
Oh, probably.
We're gonna have a grand old time and spend together.
No, I
and
get
then David Bowie's dong's all over the screen.
To be fair, I think the people who went and saw this film were probably not bringing their kids, but mostly David Bowie fans.
You're right.
I think that's the target audience rather than kids.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I wouldn't say it was for children.
No,
I do admit it would be a pretty good children's film, sure, but it was targeted towards the David Bowie fans, man.
Who would love that?
Yeah, they want to see David Bowie's dong, man. That's what they're. I guarantee you, they walk to that film. They're like, Hoggle, who cares? Ludo, adios. Sarah, screw you. David Bowie dong, hello. That's what they went there for, and they got peak Bowie dong. The entire time.
Bowie dong.
They got the Bowie's dong. I don't want to talk about dong anymore. Right?
No,
I'm out of here.
We got to get away from this.
We got to get away with this. Sarah as a character was good because she actually progressed as a character. What's interesting is that Sarah was goddamn annoying in the movie. She was ungrateful. She was insufferable. Yeah. She was kind of a bitch, man, to her family. Oh my god.
Even her stepmother was actually being pretty, reasonable.
Right?
It's like, oh, we're going to hang out tonight and we're going out since you have no plans yourself, and since you have no plans, we're going to go do something cool, just me and your dad. And she's throwing a hissy fit shit, but that actually sounded incredibly fair.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you see, again, it was very fair, very reasonable, but she was just losing it. But I liked how, as the film was progressing, you saw Sarah as a character, she became less, she became less,
self-absorbed.
Yeah, she became more caring of others and whatnot. I mean, she became more understanding.
Yeah.
More than anything else. And I guess that's because she spent a lot of time with, Hoggle and whatnot.
Well, Hoggle's peak loser.
Hoggle was quite the loser. He was definitely a loser. I mean, Hoggle even betrayed her, and she was just like, oh, you know what, Hoggle? It's all right, man. You're still a homie.
Yeah.
What up, Hoggle? Kind of thing. And I don't know. Hoggle was an asshole.
He was, but I actually liked how, in the end, he did try to defend her. And that, it's all about character growth.
Well, it is character growth, but a lot of people, I know people who just don't like Hoggle, and I can understand why you wouldn't like him, all right? But Hoggle is someone who's a victim of abuse. You have to take that in consideration, all right? Hoggle's being abused by the Goblin King. All right, Jareth is just He's an asshole to Hoggle, man. You see it all the time. So of course Hoggle is afraid to disobey him. We don't know what the Goblin King does to Hoggle when he disobeys him. All right, we never got to see the punishments, but clearly he was afraid of him.
Yeah.
More than anything else. And that's why it was hard for him to turn away, you know, and stuff like that. At the end of the day, he gets some courage, and he actually helps her out. He defeated the giant robot, I think. He jumped up top or something like that.
Oh, yeah, the robot.
Yeah, he fought the robot and everything. Absolute wild shit. Yeah, honestly, I didn't think, robot, and Hoggle's going to beat the shit out of a Transformer. That was just... that was not on my Labyrinth bingo card, I'll tell you that much.
No.
The best thing about this film, 100% Ludo. Ludo is the greatest character in this entire film. Sarah Fred.
Smell
Bro, Ludo is the greatest thing on this planet, alright? He's giant, he's fluffy, he's cute, and he can kill you with rocks. What more could you ask for from a creature, alright?
The fact that he could literally summon rocks to do his bidding was insane. That is such an incredibly strong power. Ludo could rule this entire place.
You saw it in work, all right? You saw it in action when with the goblins. We was in the Goblin City, and it was just like he just couldn't command a landslide of sorts with boulders. He killed so many goblins. He literally had a boulder roll over, crush a goblin, and he exploded. I remember. I don't know why he exploded, but he got crushed and bang, he exploded and died. Ludo killed a man!
I think we even mentioned this before, but I really love the part where the goblin runs into the house and the boulder just follows him.
And the boulders just start rolling in and beating the shit out of him, man.
That was so good.
That was hilarious, man. But honestly, Ludo killed a lot of people. Like, Ludo's a mass murderer.
They're not people, they're goblins. Who cares?
He murdered them.
They're goblins.
He murdered them in broad day. Well, it was kind of nighttime, so maybe not broad daylight.
No, he didn't murder them. They're goblins. It was self-defense.
So it doesn't matter. So you could kill a goblin, and it's not murder if it's a goblin.
Take Ludo to court, self-defense. He won the case.
Oh, he could claim self-defense.
It is self-defense.
And it was. It actually was.
And look how many goblins there were in comparison to him.
So it isn't murder. It was self-defense.
Yep.
You know what? Fair enough. Ludo, you're not guilty. You're not going to jail. You're not going to prison, man. There's no time to serve for Ludo.
No.
You know, no. What's the other guy? Didymus, I think it was.
The little squirrel on the dog?
The squirrel and the dog.
Dude, I gotta be honest, man. That character was so cute.
I feel like that character explains a lot of short people in the world.
Oh, God, no!
Short people.
They think they can fight everybody!
Short people, I feel like short people are the toughest people. Because they're self-aware that they're small, right?
Yeah.
So they have to compensate with fury, right? That's what I think, all right? Every short person I've ever known, bro, you don't want to mess with them, all right? They go straight for the knees instantly, all right? It's not a fair fight. You would think you have the advantage, you don't. They can hit you in the nuts or hit you in the knees, and they have easy access to both. It's not a fair fight.
Fair.
All right? Yeah. So short people, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't hate or anything. I'm aware of your power.
Your power concerns us.
I'm aware of your advantages.
Yeah,
all right?
I kind of like that. His whole character just has this confidence that he can literally defeat anybody. He is not afraid.
He's like a brave, gallant knight. I like how him and Ludo became brothers.
Well, it kind of reminded me, like, this is like Giga Brain.
Ooh, okay, I'm
because like it's like exactly like the Wizard of Oz.
Well, obviously, Chris. Obviously, they even had the book in the goddamn film.
That's the thing. They I think if I pressed pause and I looked at the books that they showed off, like I could have like guessed more of the references.
Oh yeah,
because I'm pretty sure Alice in Wonderland was definitely there.
Yes, sir, 100%.
Snow White because eating the fruit,
the peach. So I guarantee if you look at all the books, all the themes from those books were all represented in this film. Yeah, I would have to go back and, like, as you said, pause and check, and you're 100%.
I think about it in some ways they're like parallels because I look at like the Cowardly Lion as kind of like Hoggle. He's a coward the entire film, but in the end, he kind of like gets courage.
Yeah, I can see
something
that.
like that. I saw some parallels.
Oh, and Ludo gets a brain.
Ludo just summons rocks, man. Ludo literally gains telekinesis, and he just flies rocks around.
It's not that he gains; he's always had telekinesis.
I know, but that's the thing. Like he just summons rocks.
Ludo's an X-Man.
Ludo's part of the X-Men.
Who could beat Magneto? Ludo could beat Magneto.
Oh,
it's not metal. It's rocks.
But what if
Magneto can't fight him?
But what if there are components of metal within the rock?
No, I guarantee you, Ludo would find a way to kick his ass using rocks without metal.
Maybe.
Maybe. Guys,
that would be an interesting battle.
All you Marvel nerds out there, you suck. All right. Ludo could kick Magneto's ass. He ain't shit. All right. I put Ludo. What do you have? Nothing. That's what I thought. Battle of the Century. Magneto, friend.
So stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Oh God.
Also, there's a thing I also want.
Sorry.
So I've heard. So I've talked to someone who knows the Labyrinth and whatnot, and they mentioned to me that there was some flack for the film.
Why?
Because, well, it's very obvious. Sarah is underage, and the Goblin King's into her.
Yeah, that kind of was weird.
It's a bit weird, but they explained it to me, and it made sense in a way where the Goblin King himself, he's not a goblin, he's a human. So he probably went to this world when he was a kid. So he is immature, and he doesn't know any better. So when a woman comes and brings him a child, he thinks, oh, that's my woman.
Oh.
He's so immature that he doesn't understand things normally.
You're right, because he does act like a spoiled brat.
Yes.
The way he just takes these goblins and he's like kicking them and punching them and then throwing them around.
He's mentally childish, and he seems like he's never aged from the time he arrived there. So he doesn't know any better. And when you put it into that perspective, it kind of makes sense, and it's not as weird. You know what I mean? Because it's not like they follow through with the romance subplot of or
no, they don't.
They don't. But it's just like when you think of it in that kind of way, it makes you realize, oh, there's like a layer of depth there, right? But if you never thought about it, you wouldn't get it.
I didn't think about it, but that's actually a fascinating input. Like that actually makes sense.
Yeah, and it kind of just explains things better, and it doesn't feel. It's like it's weird, but it doesn't feel. Because
like,
weird.
Let's be real. Amongst these goblins, which one is going to teach you any concept of maturity?
They were all stupid as hell.
They were dumb as bricks, all of these goblins.
Yeah, they're all stupid as hell.
He had no chance.
No chance in hell. And I also wanted to make I had another observation where I feel like, so...
An observation, okay.
An observation, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, all right? We have Dio Brandon.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that Dio was inspired by the Goblin King.
I could see it.
He has the look. He has like the glam rock look, especially in part 3.
Yeah.
Part 3's got the glam rock look. Not even that, but you remember at the finale of the climax scene of like with the Goblin King and Sarah, they're at the stairs. And it's like it looks like a work of art or whatnot. And the stairs are all like connecting. They're upside down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a similar thing in part 3. In the second part of part 3, it even shows you in the 4th opening.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's got like a similar vibe kind of thing going on there. So it's like I kind of like
I could say because
I kind of made the connections. And again, you look at the Goblin King; he has a very similar look to Dio. Just in part 3, in part 1, no, not really, but in part 3, it's just like I feel like
you know what? Maybe actually.
That's what and I do know. I did look this up in the Labyrinth. What came out the year before JoJo's Bizarre Adventure came out, and I'm not even that, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the guy who created it, he loved music.
Well, yeah, every character has a reference to music.
Every character is a reference to music.
So either a band or a song.
Yes. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched for
wouldn't.
that to be a thing. I don't know. I made that observation. I made the connection, and I think like there's some form of inspiration there.
You know what? That's actually interesting.
Right? For any of you weebs out there, let me know what you think.
You just got your mind blasted.
Yeah, you just got butterfly affected, bro.
Butterfly.
Yeah, that's what I call it now when they have like a brain blast moment or a giga brain moment. It's a butterfly effect.
Yeah, but overall, it's just like I actually enjoyed the movie because I don't even think I mentioned the part like that I'm a big Dark Crystal fan.
Yeah, and
like just see like Jim Henson's work with the puppetry and stuff was beautiful.
Dude.
And it like kind of took me back, man. I love that stuff so much.
It's so cool because the puppeteering and whatnot, the effects aged well. In terms of like the puppeteering and whatnot,
so damn
it looks extremely well, and it's sad nowadays. Like I understand,
it's a dying art.
It is a dying art, and I understand why they use CGI, but I think they heavily rely on CGI way too much, and they shouldn't. They don't. Everything looks better when you go with more practical effects. Is it harder to do?
Well,
yeah,
but
it looks better.
For an example, is like even the latest Dark Crystal show they did on Netflix. They kind of did a mixture, a blending of the. They did the puppetry, but they were able to honestly like make the people who did the puppetry kind of like transparent, so like they wouldn't show up. So the characters were all puppeteered and stuff, and they were walking around and stuff, and it looked good. I really love that show a lot.
So it kind of took the puppeteering to the next level.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic show. I loved it, and Netflix axed it after season 1.
I mean, to be fair, though, Netflix accesses a lot of shows. There's a lot of shows that people love that Netflix just kills.
It's not even just that, but I can understand that maybe the modern audience isn't, like...
It's definitely not for the modern audience,
Maybe they're not too interested in this kind of, like, puppeteering thing, like, the characters.
It's very unfortunate.
It is. I loved it a lot, and it was something I enjoyed immensely, and, well, it's gone. So there goes that. I don't know, but, again, seeing that, like, really made me happy. I loved it so much from that alone.
Yeah, again, I ended up enjoying this film so much more because, again, I thought it was going to be a full-blown musical, so I was expecting some, like, cringy musical moments and whatnot.
Yeah.
The musical moments in this film never ruined the film. It never felt like it got in the way of the movie. It kind of just, like, it was there to progress the film, and it never bothered me.
Yeah.
I think there's, like, only 3 songs.
Yeah, like, again, we put this on a poll for musicals because I'm like, I've heard people mention this film.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll put it in the musical poll. I'll be honest, I would not even really refer to it as a musical. It doesn't feel as severely musically.
No, it's just like, sure, there's like songs in it, but it didn't feel like a musical, if that makes sense, you know? I felt like the music scenes appeared, never bothered me, and I just never thought about it. I was just like, okay, that it was music, that's fine, whatever. Yeah. No complaints, you know? It wasn't cringe, it didn't feel like forced upbeat weirdness or whatnot. That's what I hate about musicals. I think they're kind of like forced, I feel like the songs are just thrown and forced in at weird moments. You're just like, why are you doing this? You could have done this differently. I don't need to hear the singing and all this stuff, but for this film, it never felt annoying. So thank God for that. And not even that, but I'm a sucker for fantasy.
Yeah,
and I think Labyrinth is some great fantasy work.
It's fantastic.
It's a very underrated genre. But like I said, I always say fantasy is the genre with the most potential that has not been tapped yet. They're not abusing it enough, and they should. There's just so many great fantasy stories that should be put into the big screen. They're missing out big time.
Yep.
You got to stop, guys. All right, we've already seen the superheroes. We've already seen the action movies. Let's move to fantasy. Let's start milking fantasy for a bit. You know, switch it up. We've got a lot of things there. There's a lot of fantasy books to be adapted. All right, there's a lot of shit to do, guys. Come on, start using your noggin here, man. I don't know. I'd rate it like David Bowie's dong out of 10. It was pretty good.
A dong out of 10?
A Bowie dong out of 10.
Oh, a Bowie dong out of 10. My bad.
Bowie dong.
I agree. 10. Bowie dong out of 10. Good
Bowie
film.
Dong.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, very good film. There's not much more for me to speak of this. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Actually, before we move on, I have to say my favorite part of this film. It's a very small scene, but I thought it made such a huge impact on me. Is when she falls down she makes the wrong decision at the doors. She falls into the the oubliette, I think it's called, the word.
Oh, yeah.
She falls down in there and you see all the hands mimicking the faces and stuff like that. Or they're like,
that was talking. Such a cool concept and idea.
It was an incredible concept. I've never seen that done before.
No.
And I've never seen it look that... I wouldn't expect it to look that good. Each
cool.
face was different using hands.
Yeah, that was... Bro, you know what? That was actually a really impressive scene.
That was so impressive and incredible. That scene stuck with me. Out of everything in this film, Ludo and that scene both stuck with me. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, you're actually spot on with that. That was actually really fascinating.
That was one thing I did not want to miss to talk about and to give respect to that. That was an incredible scene. Other than that, I've got nothing else. Like, I feel like Labyrinth was a good film. Generally, I actually like this film so much more than I thought I would, so I'm glad that we ended up watching it. I'm glad that I saw past the musical genre and gave it a shot.
Yeah, we saw past the music in Bowie's bong.
Bowie's dong.
Yeah, sorry. I
said Bowie's bong.
Yeah,
It's Bowie's dong.
I literally, my brain confused it, man. I was like, gone.
Bro, you're thinking too much about it. You're thinking too hard about the dong.
It's in my head!
It's in my... Bowie's dong's in my head!
Get
out! So, Bowie's dong aside, we're going to move on to the next film that we watched this week, which is Blades of Glory! Blades of Glory, baby. Blades of Glory. Woo! Alright. What did you think of Blades of Glory?
Cinematic masterpiece.
An absolute cinematic masterpiece. It was the greatest thing I've seen since,
Mac and Me. But,
since Mac and Me.
The truth of the matter is like, I think that the concept of the story is just insanely smart. You know?
Oh, you mean the plot?
I think nowadays, if this story was ever done, they would go out of their way to actually make the main characters, like, gay. I think the fact that they're both straight doing, like, partner, like, figure skating as two men is what makes it more fascinating than anything. You know, and I love how at first they're so against it. They're so not into it.
Well, it's because they're polar opposites, man.
Yeah, I know.
Chaz Michaels is possibly the coolest guy that's ever existed on this planet.
I gotta say that's gotta be one of the best names ever. Chaz Michaels.
Yeah,
it's just so.
Why the hell is his middle name the same as his last? Chaz Michaels. It flows very well, so I kind of like it. So
it works. It works.
The coolest guy who's ever been ice, Chaz Michaels, and what's his name there, Jimmy or whatever. He was kind of a
Big Jim,
Big Jimbo, the guy with the worst haircut I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, his hair was wild.
What's with John Hader always getting terrible haircuts, man? This film, Napoleon Dynamite, they just slap on the worst haircut possible for the guy. Like, you know what? I'm not even kidding you. They look at John.
You're actually right.
They look at John. They're like, all right, what's the most unflattering haircut we can give this man? Like, straight up, how do we make him look? It did look awful. How do we make him look like a total goofball, total dork?
Yeah.
Right? They always nail it. They always make him look like he looks like a guy you want to beat up. I'm sorry to say, but dude, he just has that look to him, man.
Like Michael Cera?
Yeah, but Michael Cera is different. You know, John Hader is actually talented. There's the difference there. Michael Cera is just annoying. Ooh. You know, but John Hader, man, he's a funny guy. You know, he knows how to be a funny man. You know, that's the difference.
That's kind of rough, man.
No, it's not. It's the truth.
I feel bad for Michael Cera.
You shouldn't.
I already did.
What was the last thing he's done that was great? Yeah, I thought so, man. He peaked at Superbad, and his career died there.
I don't think he's even done that much. That's the thing.
Thank God. Thank God.
Okay, forget Michael Cera. You're going off point.
All right, rope us back in, cowboy. Yeah, throw that lasso around and bring us back in. Bring us back to Blades of Glory. How are you gonna do it? How are you gonna bring us back, Chris? Come on. Oh, dude, I'm waiting for you. Are you gonna bring it back or not?
I died.
So you're not bringing us back?
Why do I have to bring us back? You bring us
back. Guys, remember, the one who's the greatest of them all, it's me, all right? This guy is an absolute dweeb. He's an absolute fool.
Would you say a loser?
Loser! You are a loser. First of all, we got to mention the very beginning of this film, the greatest thing ever. Mugwai, we get it. We get it. I know.
Mugwai, we're trying to get back on track.
We're trying to get back on track, Mugwai. I get it. You like Blades of Glory.
Mugwai, right. Stop.
I'm getting her.
All right, we're getting them.
We're getting them.
Now the dogs are all going crazy. God damn it. Whoa.
Got her. Special guest.
All right, special guest Mugwai.
Mugwai's here. Special guest Mugwai.
Yay, Mugwai's here. Everyone's favorite.
Yahoo! Mugwai is here. What we have to say is that the greatest thing about this film is at the beginning we had the beautiful song that played at the Catalina wine mixer. That what was his name? God, what was this character's name in Step Brothers? Will Ferrell. Brennan and Dale. Brennan's song at the Catalina wine mixer plays at the very beginning of this film. When you see Jimmy skating on the ice as a kid, it was absolute. It was just a beautiful moment.
As soon as I made the connection of the songs, I was like,
I instantly felt like
it hit me.
I felt like I was at the Catalina wine mixer. Straight up, I felt good about myself. I felt very happy. It was just a weird plot. This rich guy comes in, he takes orphans, makes them into like the absolute greatest athletes of all time. Like there's something wrong there. That feels kind of weird. Dude. Isn't that some form of like, I don't know, child abuse?
Yeah, no shit.
Like you literally taking them.
As soon as the kid fails, it's like, yeah, by the way, I'm kind of unadopting you, bro.
Yeah, by the way, you're dog shit and you serve no purpose to me. You might as well off yourself.
He's kind of like Charles Xavier, but not nice.
Oh, he's like an evil Charles Xavier.
He's trying to form his own group of X-Men, but they're just super athlete children.
And if these X-Men don't serve their purpose, he just like offs them.
Get him out of here.
You're off the crew, bro. You're off the X-Men, man. You're just a man now.
That's actually so funny.
You're a man without the X, bro.
That was sad as hell. Just like, I'm done with you. I don't want you to...
Just loses his adopted father.
Yeah, the only dad he knows, and he's just like, get away from me.
Yeah, get away from me. Oh, I also want to talk about the one character that's really good is Jimmy's super ultra fan.
Oh my god!
I love you, Jimmy. I'm gonna kill you, Jimmy. Like, Bro, absolute wild guy. I mean, I've seen that guy in so many films, man. He always has these small roles that he plays the absolute freakiest, absolute psychotic characters.
But he does a good job.
He was in Grandma's Boy. I think he was also in.
Oh my god!
He was in Grown Ups as well. Grown Ups 2, maybe. I think he was the bus driver or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, he's just been around a lot. He was even in Click for the very beginning there.
Yes, he was.
He's always in these films. Who the hell is he? Why does he not have bigger roles? This guy's hilarious. You know, he's a funny dude. I think he should have a bigger role in something.
He's definitely really funny, man. When he plays these like really weird characters.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He's so believably weird. I buy it.
I start to think he's actually a weird person in person. You know? Like, he's legitimately absolutely weird. I do believe it.
Mugwai okay?
Mugwai's fine. Don't worry about Mugwai. But it's like you were saying, I want to go back to the plot of this film, as you were mentioning before, is that even though this movie, it's the classic stupid, funny Will Ferrell movie that we're all used to. But the plot is actually something incredibly good, and I feel like you could make a movie out of this without it being funny, and it still would have been a great film.
Yeah, you could have gone full-blown serious.
Yeah, you could have gone full-blown serious. It still would have been a really great film. It's like you said, the fact that it's just like they're complete polar opposites. They hate each other.
Yeah.
And they're completely excommunicated from the singles league. Yeah. And they have to go into partners and then decide to pair up with each other because, you know, last minute it is what it is. And it's like, it's cool. It's like you said, it's even more interesting that they're two straight dudes.
They're totally straight.
And they're completely...
I feel like nowadays they would make maybe one gay and one straight. And that
or they would just make them both gay or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's super interesting when you make two guys who are, especially for a character like Chaz Michael Michaels, who's extremely like, he's all about like being a ladies' man. He's like all about masculinity and all this stuff and projecting it really hard. To get like a character like this to go into like a partnership with another male to figure skate, it makes it very interesting. And it shows a lot of depth to the character himself. They're willing to put that all in the back. You know, it allows him to grow. It allows him to realize that there's more to figure skating. There's more to all this than being the man kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, it's not even just that, but like how he actually starts to really like care about Jimmy and they become actual good friends.
They become literal brothers. It's literally Step Brothers on Ice.
It's
yes! Yeah, I think
you mentioned Step Brothers on Ice.
I think I mentioned that in the ending of the
oh my God.
The film when we were watching it, but it's genuinely Step Brothers on Ice in a sense. You know, and it's what's also cool is that like, so what even makes it greater is that so like Chaz Michael Michaels is always, he wants to be the man, he wants to be the man role in the entire figure skating thing, even with Jimmy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how he interests himself on the ice and he's willing to take the position of the woman right away.
Yeah.
Or the traditional woman, because he knows that this is bigger than himself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just like
he knows it's the only way it's gonna get done.
Even then, it's such a good finale, and it pays off hard because Chaz has been practicing that part, which is fatally dangerous, and they just swap roles last second kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I found that to be an incredible thing. Like, I feel like it's a great lead up to the finale. And not even that, movie ends, and they fly away with rocket skates.
Oh my God, dude, that
into
ending
the
was
sky.
Crazy. That ending was crazy.
They had the balls to send Chaz and Jimmy flying into the sky, and we just end the film right there.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
They ascended humanity through figure skating.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess they did ascend humanity as a whole through figure skating. I don't know. It was a very beautiful scene. Not just that, but the fact that the final routine, it was the song to Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
That
my God.
That was insane, dude.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's art.
Genuinely beautiful, genuinely art. I really liked it. Also wanted to say that I really liked Will Arnett in this film. Will Arnett played a really good bad guy. He's just such an asshole, dude.
So dumb as well.
Oh, so stupid, but God, he said some horrible things, man. He's just like such a prick the entire time.
I love the part when their sister, she's getting all upset and everything. She's like, oh yeah, don't walk away. Yeah, Kitty, we totally care. Yeah.
Yeah. Or he's like, yeah, you remember that time you made our parents die? Oh, don't you remember when they were alive? Like, bro, what the hell? Bro, he said some of the wildest shit. Yeah. Not even that, but the routines that he had with his partner where they were just like doing JFK and
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. Wow. Why would you do this? Bro, absolute wild shit, man.
I'm just saying, man, with the whole JFK bit, when he had the crossbow, he shot the mascot in the head.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Very symbolic.
Yeah.
Very symbolic.
Very ironic.
I'm glad they never brought that part to the ice. I don't know
how... Just black slides on the ice like limp.
I don't know how you portray that,
my
but
God.
that would have been wild. Like, that would be, like, honestly, that's one way to finish your routine.
Yeah.
You just get blasted.
You literally reenact the JFK assassination.
Your partner's like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh my god! Oh, that's so good! Holy shit!
Yeah, honestly, I think missed opportunity.
Yeah, they totally missed the mark on that one, 100%.
You know,
I'm just visualizing it. Like,
yeah, sometimes I realize that I say some of the stupidest shit, and I just like. No. Sometimes I think, man, maybe I should think before I say things.
Nah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're dead on. I think the weirdest thing though for the movie, especially the last segment, was that it was filmed in places that we've been to frequently.
Bro, the last part of this film is filmed in Montreal, and I mean,
it's the place where
we live in Quebec. So we've been to Montreal many times.
Yeah.
And they're literally filming in parts where we've been ourselves. Like, they were filming at Palais des Congrès, I think. You know where they have the Montreal Comic Con at all the time?
Yeah.
They're filming at the outside doors of the back way there.
Yeah. You know, I knew everything.
I know, because you go out there and it'll lead you straight to the goddamn Chinatown,
It's not even that, just even the elevators and everything. I know the whole place.
Elevators, everything.
That's just wild. Yeah. Seeing a place that you frequented so much, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's also the movie.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was really bizarre to, I don't know, it's just like bizarre to see that they filmed it in somewhere you're used to or that you recognize. I don't know, it just felt kind of off-putting. Not in a bad way, in a good way.
No, it was just weird.
It was just like,
why do I have these earbuds in my ears? I just realized there's no purpose to have this in my ears. I'm not listening to anything.
Possibly. This could just be, a theory, but I think you might be an idiot. I'm just gonna, throw that out there. We'll see if you catch it. You got it?
Where'd it go?
Yeah, it's because you're an idiot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just proved my point. Thank you very much. Another thing I wanted to say that I liked about this film is that it never shied away from the training scenes. I actually like that. I'm a sucker to see some training going on, and I kind of liked how I thought it was very interesting. Like, even with
we got a training montage though.
We got a training montage. That already gets a boost, a little plus for me. But not even that, we got to see training of them on the ice. They had a shitty little ice skate into some fish factory. Not even that was interesting. It was for Chaz Michaels. It was just if you got to skate with a man, you got to learn to dance with one first. I was like, oh, that's very interesting. I thought that. I thought that was an interesting point to make. And it's just yeah, okay, I could get that. No,
that it makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Because even through dance and figure skating, of course, when it comes to the partner aspect of it, it's quite intimate. You have to learn to do one if you can do the other.
Yeah, but it makes it very different because if you're dancing, let's say you're dancing with a man and you're used to dancing in partners with a woman, it is different because of weight distribution and whatnot. And for some of these moves, you got to learn the difference.
Yeah.
There is genuinely a difference in that, so you have to get used to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Overall, I don't even, Blades of Glory, I feel like, personally, I have this take where I feel like I like Will Ferrell movies a lot. Even ones that aren't that good, I always enjoy.
I agree. They're always just fun.
Not even that, they're fun, but there's also sometimes a really great underlying message in his films. If you pay attention enough, you're going to find them. It's the same thing with Adam Sandler films.
Yeah, true.
You could find some deep meaning in some of his films. I guarantee you Will Ferrell has movies where there's no meaning whatsoever. I've heard lots of horrible things about the Sherlock Holmes thing. I genuinely want to watch that.
Why?
I want to see how bad it is. I want to watch the Robert Downey Jr. ones. I mentioned this previously. I can't remember where I mentioned this now. I don't know if it was the last podcast or
maybe the last video we did.
Maybe the last video we watched. Spoiler alert, it's a Will Ferrell movie, so he's the new Adam Sandler on the channel. The editor's going to love him. Don't worry. He will be forced to love him. But I remember I wanted to watch the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, and then I wanted to watch the Will Ferrell one, just so I can really see how bad it is. So I can feel how bad it is. I feel like if you watch what it's parodying, it's going to make it a lot worse, right?
Well, possibly, yeah.
Hopefully. Or maybe it'll help me understand it, and maybe I'll be able to enjoy it more. But I don't think that's the case, because I've heard very bad things about that movie.
It's like the Jack and Jill of Will Ferrell's career.
Could it be?
I don't know. Jack and Jill.
I don't think it was the Jack and Jill of Will Ferrell's career. I don't think he's had a Jack and Jill. I don't think any comedian has had a film as bad as Jack and Jill.
Oh yeah, for sure. Come on.
As bad as Adam Sandler's Jack and Jill. There was a career Oh my god! I just thought about one.
Yeah, what?
Oh my god. Mike Myers, when he did the one where he's like
the Love Guru.
Well, was it the Love Guru?
I don't know. I heard it was shit.
Was it the Love Guru? Or it could have been the Love Guru, or the one where he was like the turtle guy.
Oh, Master of Disguise?
Master of Disguise, I think, is the one that really bombed. Like, that one...
Oh.
That one, like, really hit... That literally threw shit at a fan. It was that horrible. And it just got all over the place. I've heard nothing but terribleness about that film.
I don't know. It's one or the other. I can't remember which one.
I don't know if it was
horrible.
I know Love Guru was dog shit. And I heard that was dog shit. And I heard Master of Disguise was really bad. So, you know what? I take that back. There are comedians who've had their Jack and Jills.
I think it's pretty common for most actors. I think all actors out there are gonna have like these films that just bomb horribly.
Well, it depends. Some actors never have a film that goes that bad. You know, it never sinks that hard. Sometimes they'll have a weak film, but never a dog shit film. You know, I feel there are some actors who have consistent films.
You know what? Yeah, I'll give you that. I think there are some actors that do have the consistency in their back pocket. But when it comes to specifically
comedy's hard.
Comedic actors,
yeah.
Sometimes, man, you're gonna do a role and it's not gonna go well.
You think it's gonna be fine, and then you see it on the big screen, and you're like, oh god, what have I done?
Yeah.
And there's no going back. The money's spent, the film's used, you're just giga screwed.
Well, you're just the actor in it, right? So it's like, whatever, man.
Yeah, but the actor's gonna get the most flack.
True.
People love blaming the actors. They don't like blaming the writers.
Or director.
Or the director. And especially when it comes to comedy, it's easier to blame the actor than the writer.
Yeah, that's true too, actually. You're on to that, yeah.
Right? Because most people are going to these films for the comedian themselves.
Yeah.
Rather than the actor. While in other forms of media, a lot of people are going for the film itself or the franchise itself. For example, Star Wars,
Or anything like Marvel related or some shit like that, superhero.
Yeah, they're going for the franchise rather than the director or the writer. They don't really care.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And they're not even going for the actor. They're going for the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a completely separate thing. It's not the same thing. So when comedy bombs, the person bombs hard too.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, I feel like comedy. There's a lot at stake when you're doing a comedy film in comparison to any other film. If a comedy film bombs,
you're kind of screwed.
It's over, dude. If a comedy film's not funny, dude, that's some hard hitting shit, bro.
It's a rough one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do think they're two separate things. They're not even the same thing. I don't even know how the hell did I get here from Blades of Glory. I'm just like
we're pretty on brand still.
We're still on brand. We're still talking about
comedy films in general.
We're talking about comedy films in general.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, like, where have I gone? I've literally left the Shire and I don't know where the hell I am anymore.
Yeah, we actually have still one more movie to talk about too.
That's true, guys. We have one more film. My bad. I was just so obsessed with Will Ferrell that I completely forgot.
Yeah, I realized that you had a lot to say about Will Ferrell. You really love him.
I think Will Ferrell's funny. I think he's a really good actor. I genuinely do. I love his films. That's it. Will Ferrell's like Adam Sandler to me. I like their movies, even the ones that aren't that good. Well, I can't say that because I've never seen Jack and Jill, and I don't think I'll ever put myself through that. I feel like I have a lot of self-respect, and I could not watch that film. I
remember when it came out.
I wouldn't even do it for the channel because I know nobody's gonna watch it either.
No, but I remember when it came out, man, and my god, just the reviews,
literally
how bad it was.
almost career ending. He's really brought it around. After Jack and Jill, he took a break and he came back and he brought the career back. He took a break and it was just like, God damn, I can't do Jack and Jill ever again. I can't have another Jack and Jill. He really reflected hard on that and he came back stronger than ever.
Jack and Jill give him PTSD.
Oh, it would have given me PTSD. I think I would have just quit acting as a whole. But you know what? Actually, no. You have to come back. You can't let your legacy die at Jack and Jill.
No.
If you let your legacy die at Jack and Jill, man, that's just no. You might as well have never had a career to begin with then, because that's embarrassing as hell. But hey, he brought it back, man. He's had some solid bangers here and there, so I've heard. I haven't seen any of his recent work. There was a Jewel, the one where he plays like
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. I never saw that. There's another basketball thing he did.
Hustler.
That was pretty good. I've never seen it.
Hustle or some shit.
And then he did. There's also his animated film about him as an iguana, Leo.
That's very recent, though.
Very recent, but I've heard good things about it.
Oh.
So it's just like I would like to see his more recent work. Anyways, enough about... This was supposed to be Blades of Glory, man. I'm just on comedians now. We're going to move on to Sicario, because I feel like I'm just not going to shut the hell up if I keep talking about this. So, we're going to talk about Sicario, and for Sicario... Woo! Okay, I have like a few hot takes with this film. All right? I have a few hot takes.
All right.
So,
I'm listening.
Get ready, guys, to blast me. I feel like... I've already made people hate me, so why not have more? I really don't care at this point. For Sicario, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought that this movie at some parts got boring. The pacing felt very off for me. There's some things that just kind of dragged on far too long. I was just like, I was watching, I'm like, okay, But how about we get to the point? How about we get to the meat and potatoes and skip the salad kind of thing? No, don't. I have nothing against appetizers and stuff, man. I like pigs and blankets. Don't get me wrong. But can I get the steak? Can I get the filet mignon with a little bit of brie cheese, some gravy, maybe? I don't know. Let's spice it up a bit. But I felt like they left me, but I felt like they left me at the appetizer for far too long, and I was waiting. By the time I was waiting for dinner, I was already tired.
No, it's like I finished my appetizer and I'm just waiting.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, when's the main course coming out?
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. I felt like that. And again, this is a reasonable take, and this is a reasonable criticism, because I've watched movies that are slow, and I've enjoyed them, and I never felt bored. The time didn't feel like it was it wasn't overstaying its welcome with the length of film.
Yeah.
This felt like it. I felt like they could have cut out at least 20 minutes, and it still would have been a great film regardless. I would have been okay with it.
I would agree. I feel like there were certain elements to the film where I felt like they were just, like you said, I think the best word is just dragging.
Here's the thing.
Like, you kind of know where it's going, but it's kind of like they're taking their sweet old time to kind of like get to the
and here's the thing. I'm not saying the film's bad. This is not me saying the film's bad. I liked the film. I think it's a very good movie, and I would recommend it for people. But it's just more of a personal preference and an opinion that I felt like it dragged on in certain scenes, and it shouldn't have. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The cast for this film is a 10 out of 10. The cast is so solid. If the cast wasn't as solid, I would have not liked this movie. I'm telling you. This movie,
I strongly believe...
The cast hard carries the goddamn film.
Yeah.
All right? Really does. You got Emily Blunt. She's extremely good in this film. You got Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin really made this movie great.
Yeah, he was funny.
I love his character. I love the aloof asshole. The job he does is very serious, but it seems like he doesn't take it seriously. But he actually does.
Yeah.
I kind of like that character trope or that kind of character trait.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that shit, so I was eating that shit up, man. I was like, get more Josh Brolin on the screen, man. Bring him in. Benicio del Toro, guy's a phenomenal actor. I feel like he should be doing more. He should be doing a lot more.
Yeah,
if
you ask me, he kind of just steals the show.
He does steal the show.
He's a fantastic actor.
And you know what the sad thing is? I feel like I don't get to see him enough on the big screen. I think I would like to see more of him. I remember they had him in Star Wars, and they
please do not mention that.
I'm sorry, but I have to.
Please no.
He was in that film, and they
wasted
his potential. They had such a phenomenal goddamn actor in there, and they still allowed the movie to be shit. I'm sorry, guys. That's as far as going to go there. I feel like if I cannot open that can of worms.
We don't go there.
If I open that can of worms, it's a very dangerous place, and this won't be about Sicario. It's going to be about Star Wars. You don't want that shit.
No.
All right. No.
No.
Even what's his name there? The guy from what's his name from Get Out? Oh God.
I think all I know is his first name is Daniel.
Daniel Kalu. Daniel Kaluuya, I think it is. I didn't just cut that and found out the name on the side. Don't worry, guys. I knew it the whole time.
Well, it's not even just that, because like we get to a point in the film where they have like John Bernthal, or what is it?
John Bernthal makes a guest appearance. John Bernthal.
I knew his name, but while we're watching the movie, you're like, oh man, what's his name?
Punisher,
dude. And as soon as you say what's his name, my brain went gone. Yeah, I just had it.
I forced the butterfly effect on you,
bro. I'm telling you, man. Every time you do that to me, every time you do like, oh yeah, that actor, I'm like, oh, I got it. You're like, what's their name? It leaves my brain instantly. I'm like, what is their name?
I have that power, man. I just remove memory from people's brains in this simple. Like,
I hate that.
It's like a little spell.
Hate that. I don't know. Just all in all, I feel like the cast.
The cast, goddamn carries this film. All right, guys. I don't care about what your opinion is. I don't care if you're like, oh, you have a short attention span. I actually have a very good attention span. All right, a very good one. I'm a very patient man. Again, I've watched The Green Mile. That's a 3-hour goddamn film, and it didn't feel like 3 hours.
No, that's perfect
this movie felt like 2.5 goddamn hours, and it had to stop. It was just like you needed to slow down. Again, thank God the ending of this film pays off in a way that
it's one of the hardest endings ever.
Honestly, I haven't watched a film in a long time that paid off as hard as this movie at the very end. Wow, dude, absolute insane shit, dude. Guy actually gets his revenge in a way I never thought that anybody would do.
No.
He blasts his family, bro.
Yeah.
He blasts his family.
Yeah.
Bang, boom, bang, zap, zap, zoom, and they're all on the ground, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
In front of them, and he just tells them, continue eating. Dude, hardest shit I've ever seen, dude.
It's just because before he kills him, he wants to give him that little bit of taste of what he's gone through now that he lost his wife and child.
You will suffer for a minute or a few seconds. You will suffer like I have my entire life. Absolute wild shit, man. You love to see it, man. do love to see it.
Most films don't have the balls to do that kind of thing. Right? Usually when it comes to kids, they're like, okay, guys, we can't do that. It's a little too hard. Bro, they did not shy away. He went boom, boom, boom.
They did not shy away from it in this film, which is, again, mad respect to the director and whatnot. And the writers, like, dude, that's an incredible thing to do there, all right? That again, a lot of balls to do that.
Insane ending.
Yeah, again, Hollywood usually shies away from that, and they kind of try to avoid it because they think it's a little too hardcore. But, you know, these things happen, actually. So it's just like, you know, good on you guys for just going all out with it. Even if a lot of people might have been like, I don't know about that one, man. He blasts the kids, really? I guarantee you, probably in the writers' room, they're like, he blasts the kids? And the wife? Does he blast him? Not right away. What? They've never heard of it before. We've never seen it in Hollywood. We've never seen wild shit like that.
And not only that, but I also like how the whole time in the film you're kind of like also following the Mexican police officer. Bro gets wasted. Bang, boom, too. Like just like gone.
Yeah, you know, I like how they're like, oh, here's this guy. He's a police officer. He lives in Mexico. He's kind of an all right dude. You know, it seems like he could be better. He's a kind of a piece of shit. He's a corrupted cop. He's doing bad things. He has a family, and he ends up getting blasted, and he suffers the consequences for his poor actions, essentially, and his poor decision making.
Yeah,
I was like, oh. I honestly thought they were leading it up to him being a phenomenal character or someone interesting or great. He was never interesting, and he just dies. I was just like, oh, they didn't really set up much. Anyways, I didn't care about him to begin with.
Basically, the setup is that he's just a normal guy. Average guy, he's got his family, he's trying to take care of them.
Making wrong decisions, you know, and just because he thinks it's for the best of his family.
Yeah, and then wrong place at the wrong time and just gone. Yeah. That's it.
They really set him up. I thought he was going to be super important or something like that. He really was. He just was cannon fodder in the end of the day.
Cannon fodder.
Literally, I genuinely thought they're setting up something big for this character, and he just gets blasted and wasted in one of the most pathetic ways possible. He dies in a pathetic way. It was very sad. I was like, what? Not sad as like, oh, why did you shoot him? Sad as like, dude, you suck. Like, bro, really? You died like that? I don't know, man.
He's just a normal dude. That's it.
Bro, I mean...
Dude, these guys aren't normal. He's just a normal comment. He's just doing his job. He got in a little...
Clearly, he's not doing his job well.
Well, dude, he wasn't expecting a guy to come out and come in with a car.
He knew who he was. He knew who he was, man. He knew he messed up. Bro, I would have said, I'm sorry, bro. I don't
think sorry would have helped. I don't think sorry made a difference in that situation.
I got beans and eggs at home, bro.
This guy literally shot children. You think he's gonna be like, oh man, I hear you out, dude. No problem. It's a mistake.
I don't know. Maybe you could have just, you know, cried or something. You know?
What's crying gonna do?
I don't know. Maybe you think you're pathetic and he doesn't want to kill you anymore. He's like, oh, it's bad enough. This guy's kind of...
I don't know. If you start crying, I'm gonna think you're annoying and I'd blast you anyways.
Oh shit. Maybe he would just died early.
Yeah, he would died far earlier.
Oh. I guess he's just dead then. I don't know. You know what he should have done? Not be corrupt. Maybe then he would have been fine. So at the end of the day, it's on him. Should have been better, bro.
Lesson learned. Do not fall for corruption. Focus on taking care of your family more than anything.
Yeah, focus on your family, not
corruption.
On corruption.
Or maybe he did it because maybe they were offering him more money. And he's like, oh, I need to take care of my family.
But we never know.
I know.
We're not explaining anything.
I know. A lot of it's very vague.
It's very vague, and I don't know why he did what he did when he could have just done better things. I don't know, guys. Maybe I didn't pay attention enough to this character or whatnot. Not like I care because he dies, so who cares? Yeah. I think. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else about this film. One thing about this film is that the violence looked real. It was very visceral, very gruesome. You know what I mean?
It felt kind of real.
Yeah, they had a very realistic form of violence to it.
It wasn't overdone.
No, it wasn't overdone, but it was done in a way where I was just like, ooh, yeah, that looks pretty gnarly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially fighting the bodies in the walls in the beginning and stuff.
Fighting the bodies in the walls, but even with the explosion and whatnot, and the after effects of it and stuff like that, it was kind of wild. Not even that, but it just also shows you, it paints the picture of like the amount of stress these people go through in their in their daily lives. You know,
yeah, I feel bad for anybody who actually has a career in which this is the stuff they're dealing with.
Oh, bro, the amount of mental health issues they have or they're suffering from is insane.
No, yeah, right? You see from Emily Blunt's character, like she has a
hard time getting through it, man.
You see her like slowly just absolutely like
she kind of like descends in this form of like almost deep depression kind of thing.
Well, yeah,
you can also see that she's genuinely like she stays alone. she wants to be alone more than anything else. Like, she had a relationship, she had a partner previously, got divorced, and it seemed like she can never get another partner. I feel like
that line of work, it's hard.
I feel like maybe I feel like some people can do it, but another, like, I think it depends on the person. Like, some people just, like, they fall into the commitment of the job kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you saw, because they even straight up told her, like, this is dangerous, etc.
And they wanted they wanted somebody without a family, someone who has nothing to lose.
And not only that, but because of the fact that they kind of, like, told her, like, yeah, you're gonna get the bad guys, and, like, she was very dedicated to doing that.
Yeah.
And they knew that she would push through regardless because of her dedication towards that.
Yeah, essentially used a horrible incident that she just experienced to kind of motivate her to do something.
It fueled her in a way.
Yeah, and they only needed her just to be there. Yeah. They didn't need her actually, which was kind of sad. They just
the wildest thing of it all too is it's just the fact of how in the dark she was of everything.
They didn't want her to know anything. They just wanted to be there because they needed her to be there. Essentially, they just needed her.
Just her presence.
Yeah, they just needed her presence. They literally abused her, like her position, essentially, just so they could do what they wanted to.
Yeah.
Not even that, but one thing that was very weird, like, you know, for the character, speaking of, like, Emily Blunt's character, Katie, I found it very weird, like, you know, at the end there, when she figures out that things aren't going to plan at the very end when they're in the cave and they're doing the shootout.
Yeah.
Afterwards, when they're leaving, and she's just like, I'm going to tell them all. I'm going to tell them everything about what happened here and stuff like that. I was like, what the hell's going on? Why would you say all this bullshit when you're literally surrounded? You and your friend are surrounded by at least 10 other dudes with guns. Why the hell are you being so unreasonable and stupid? I'm sorry, the character was very smart throughout the entire film, and that felt very weird for me. I felt like that just wasn't a smart thing to say or do. It was it almost felt out of character for me. I was like, what are you doing? I understand, like...
I think it could just be I agree with you, actually.
I just didn't like that. I thought that was very bizarre, and I know there is the argument. She's been through a lot.
And
she's
just,
stressed,
I think it's
mental breakdown of sorts, frustration.
Yeah.
No, the I don't know what the thing is. I can't remember the saying. Can't remember. I had a metaphor, but I can't even use it. I forgot it. Anyways, you know, it's just the last straw.
Yeah, I honestly did really find that very bizarre and kind of out of character to an extent.
I do know that people probably have good arguments or probably can explain it better to me in the comments. And if you can, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
You know, I only watched the movie once. I haven't seen it more than once, so maybe there's some things I could have picked up that I probably missed out or something. I don't know. But more than anything, that was the only part of the entire film where I was just a little off and I didn't like it. I was just like, ooh, I don't feel like... Would her character really do this? This feels very out of place for me. You know?
Yeah. But then also, I just really like the ending of the whole film.
when she's alone with the dude.
Yeah, and he's like offering her, like, you have to sign this to say, like, everything was like by the book and everything.
Yeah, shit
and like
was wild.
He straight up said, like, I'll make it look like you did it yourself and stuff. That was just insane.
It's hard. It's cool. And the thing is, he's just like at the same time he's like I will kill you, and at the same time he's being a very caring person. It's kind of weird. Like, wow, he's really good at his job, man. Like, damn.
Yeah, and I like the ending, like when she's like aiming at him from the balcony.
Oh yeah.
And he just looks back, not a care in the world. Go for it. I'm done.
He already got his revenge. He has nothing to lose. This man is waiting to die. You would do him a favor by blasting him in the back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything. You kill the man. You do nothing. It solves nothing.
No.
That's the thing. That's the reality of it all. But overall, it was just like
pacing issues aside, a great film.
Pacing issues aside, it was a very good film. I had a little gripes there with, like, you know, Katie's character near the end and the pacing, you know, again, very weird for me at times. But other than that, it was a very good film. And I also liked another part that I liked about this film is, like, especially when they get to Mexico and you see, like, how gone to shit the entire this part of the city is. You know, you see, like, the people hanging from the bridges and whatnot.
Wild.
It really sets up, like, a holy shit kind of scenario, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely wild. Not even that, but also when they were, like, they were at the I think it's like the border or something. They're at a toll booth or something.
Yeah, border.
And even like the shootout over there was kind of crazy. It was very chaotic.
Oh, it quickly just accelerated out of nowhere.
Yeah, it just escalates out of nowhere and gets wild as hell.
And everyone just goes boom, 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 blasted.
Yeah, again.
It ends as fast as it begins. That's the funny thing.
I feel like if there's anything about this film, I know that it was kind of like a thriller kind of film or something like that, like a kind of like almost like a mystery thriller kind of thing, because there was a mystery of sorts of like what's going on, what's actually happening.
Yeah, what's the actual goal?
But I'm not usually one to say it, but I kind of wish there was a bit more action. I'm not one to ever say that. I never want to say that, but I like the action. Like, I like how the action looked in this film, and I kind of wish there was a bit more.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I can agree.
You know,
overall,
it was a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a very fun movie. That's it for the 3 films that we watched this week. That's as far as we're going to go digging into them.
We actually talked a lot about the films this week, so we have to get to our questions now because we're almost at an hour.
Yeah, we're getting close to the hour mark, and so we're going to hit into the question area. So how about we get those questions up, man? Bring them up. Bring up the big ones. We only have 3 questions, guys.
Yeah.
We have 3 questions. There's 3 decently good questions.
Yeah, it's because we don't pick a lot of questions all the time, guys. Like, we can't take them all. Because then this would be too long, this whole segment.
This would be way too long. And some of your questions are actually really good.
Thought-provoking,
and it leads us on into a huge tangent.
Yeah.
So if we find one question that is really good, and we know we're going to talk about it too much, then, like, this time we only have 3 questions. We choose less because we know one of them or 2 of them might be way too long and have too much to say.
Yeah, because we really don't want to make this longer than, like, maybe an hour or maybe an hour 20 or something like that. But we don't want to go too long with it. But anyways, we'll stop rambling. We'll get into the first question. We got a question from Jake Cook 2375. When are you guys gonna finish the Equalizer trilogy? I don't know. I forgot the third one came out.
Is the third one out on digital? Like, can you just watch it online already?
Yeah, I think so.
What? I didn't even know that.
I forgot about it entirely.
Hey, Jake Cook, man, I didn't even know the movie was already out to watch online, bro. No. I had no idea. Dude, we're watching so many movies, I'm gonna be honest with you, that it's hard to keep up with what's coming out lately.
I'm so lost.
Yeah, it's just like... There's just so much that we're doing. There's so many movies that we're already watching that's hard to just like, oh, this is coming out. Let's fit this in. Like, I know recently we did Good Burger 2 when it came out. Yeah. It was just like we were very self-aware that film was coming out.
It's not even just that, but you have to realize, you know, as we're doing this and you guys see this video, we have already probably watched 6 other movies.
Yeah, we're already 6 movies ahead. Yeah. So, yeah, again, you know what I mean? We're super far ahead. You know, we're technically 2 weeks ahead of content, which is wild as hell in itself. So, yeah, we're super ahead.
We missed it, but we will get to it eventually.
We'll get to. Trust me, we'll get to the final Equalizer film. I've heard good things about it, so we do want to watch it.
Yeah.
So we will get to it at some point. All right, we're moving on to question number 2.
All right, I got question number 2, and this comes from John Campbell 756, and he thanked us for answering his previous question, and he says, "Have you seen Strange Brew?" No, we have not seen Strange Brew. I know it isn't it. Isn't that the one with... Isn't Rick Moranis in it?
In Strange Brew?
Isn't he in it?
I have no idea.
I
don't know what Strange Brew is.
Is it? Am I thinking the right... Nah, I probably got it wrong.
I know it's a Canadian film. I don't think Strange Brew is...
Maybe it isn't that one specifically.
We would have to look it up to make sure and double check. I'm not too sure.
I had to check. Is there a movie that you've seen outside of this channel that you think everyone needs to see?
Oh.
That's a great question. Holy shit.
Okay.
A movie that I think everybody needs to see.
This is a very hot take. Not really a hot take, but it's a very interesting take because I know it might not be everyone's cup of tea. Might be something that they're actually not that interested in. But the best movie I saw this year was probably Blue Giant.
Oh, true.
The Blue Giant film. It was an animated film that was it's based on a manga that we both dearly love. We saw this film in theaters a few months back. And it was one of the greatest theater experiences I've ever had and one of the greatest films I've ever seen. It's just such a phenomenal story, and they told it so well. They adapted it perfectly for the big screen. Honestly, I'm very biased, but that film, I feel like more people should see it. It's a story that I think could help a lot of people.
As you guys, we've just rambled on before that we watch a lot of movies for the channel that we barely go to theaters anymore. We don't care anymore. But this was a movie we went out of our way to actually go see. And I would agree with that. I genuinely loved it. And it's probably my favorite film of the year.
Yeah. It was one of my favorite films I've saw this year. It's definitely in the top 5 of this year. You know, even like everything I've seen on the channel.
Yeah,
this is still in the top 5 this year. It's that goddamn good. So that would be it. And John Campbell also had a funny little Canadian joke. A little hee-hee-ha-ha. I'll read right here. Being Canadian does that baked. This hat specifically. In Octopodd. A toque is a hat.
Predominantly worn in the winter.
In the winter in Canada, it's called a toque. So, Octopodd. I hate you, John.
I hate that one a lot, honestly, because it's actually clever and it's good. And I hate it. It's
clever and I can recognize it, but at the same time, I kind of hate you. Thanks, John. You're a horrible person. You're a great guy, John. Question number 3. Let's go. This is the big one.
Okay. This comes from Cardi Jefferson 1427. Okay, fellas, I got a question. How do you guys feel about reboot in the state of comic book superhero movies? Yeah.
This is what we were talking about. Questions that are so big.
Yeah.
There's just gonna be so much to talk about.
Yeah. This kind of question is a massive one, and that's why we didn't take any other questions for this one.
We knew that this one was like we hit a gold line with this one. So I want to start off with the reboots first. All right, you know, like
there's
how they
so
reboot
many
films.
of them. Wow,
there is a lot of reboot films, and you know what the thing is? Not all of them are bad.
No,
not all reboots are bad films, but I feel like they are overdone, and there's more shit than there are good.
Well, it's not even just that, because if you think of the direction DC Films is going in now, they're gonna have to reboot every character they have now.
Yeah,
that they basically established.
Yeah,
and like,
I don't mind though, because DC's been dog shit. I don't care. Yeah. I just want. I want a good movie from DC. All right, they've had a lot of. They've taken so many L's throughout the years, man. They need something.
Their biggest problem is it's the fact that, you know, because they saw the success of the Avengers, they rushed Justice League far too fast. They did not try to establish their characters, their heroes, their motives. They didn't
set them up. They did nothing.
They just threw them together, and it was a mess. And since then, it's just been a consistent mess.
It's just been a downfall. That's it. DC has been in a hard downfall.
Revamping and reworking that universe is smart.
In terms of reboots, or in terms of like superhero movies, I'm not upset about it. I'm looking forward to it because I hope it's good.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of hope. I think James Gunn, he's done a lot of great films. The Guardians of the Galaxy was a lot of fun.
Solid trilogy.
I liked it. It was great. I think that he knows what he's doing in terms of superhero films. So I look forward to see what he does with it. If the first one's bad, then I'll start to get worried. Right now, I'm okay. I'm not too worried about it. I'm patient. We'll see what happens in that terms. The Marvel cinematic universe needs to stop.
No, it's like the state of comic book superhero movies. That's kind of what we go to next. Man, they are so awful.
Oh, no, but reboots. There's more to reboots. It's not just superhero films reboots. Reboots is so much more than that.
Yeah, sure.
Reboot of franchises and stuff like they're trying to bring back all the time. Where they should just leave them dead.
Well, here's the thing. I think some franchises should not be touched anymore, and then there's others where I feel like you could explore. I think the most appropriate thing that you can actually tackle this with, as an example, is Cobra Kai. I think Cobra Kai rebooting the life of Karate
Kid even that, but
was insane.
Cobra Kai and Creed are great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call them reboots. They're like revivals.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like an unofficial sequel kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it's good. You bring it back, but you make it good.
Yeah.
While there's also like you bring back things that you shouldn't, or you reboot things that you shouldn't. No. You know, that should just stay dead, essentially. You know, because sometimes you can't make it better than the original, so you shouldn't bother.
No, I think some things just don't even... It's not even necessary to reboot it, you know?
No, but it's an easy cash grab.
That's the thing. It's an easy cash grab. People are going to talk about it as well, whether they like it or not.
The worst thing is that if the movie does well, or the movie does bad, they're still going to make a lot of money out of it, because there's a lot of people who are going to be interested to see
hate watchers.
Not even that. They want to see, is it good or bad? So they're going to go see it to check it out.
Yeah, it's a true shame, actually.
It's a very dangerous thing, you know. At the end of the day, they can produce shit and still win off of reboots. That's the sad thing. It's very profitable. If it wasn't, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, reality is there are appropriate ways into doing it, but realistically speaking, more times than not, they don't do it.
I'll be honest with you guys. I think like when in terms of reboots and stuff like that, a lot of it is our fault. It's us, the consumer. It's our fault that they keep doing it because it keeps making money. We're the ones that make it profitable.
We're enabling it.
Essentially. So as much as you hate them and you want to shit on them, you got to recognize that we're the problem at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If we weren't giving them money for it, they wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, it's true.
So you also have to think of that in that kind of way as also. You know, we got to take ownership and take responsibility for our own stupidity. Enough of that.
Now we can move on to the comic book superhero. The current state of comic book superhero movies.
Current state of comic book superhero movies.
They're not good.
They've been terrible. They've been absolutely dog shit for the longest of time. And I don't even know why they're making them anymore.
It's because they keep hoping to be making that money that they did before with them. How it was like an event. Like you were actually excited.
Yeah.
Like the theaters would be packed and everything.
Before Endgame, dude. Whoa, bro. It was literally the hottest thing of the year. Everyone's talking about, this Marvel movie, that Marvel movie, what it's leading up to, the next Avengers film.
Yep.
Everyone was hyped. Everyone was going. Now nobody gives a shit.
Well, it's because of the oversaturation. I think adding as many TV shows as they did, it's too much content to follow.
You know, it's a classic that sometimes too much good is too much.
Well, no, it's quantity over quality.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
it. They push
that
out
is true
so
because
much.
It's not a lot of good. It's a lot of shit.
I feel like the TV shows, from the ones I've watched, they were okay. I didn't think they were anything that special.
I didn't watch them. I could not care.
You did not miss much. I'll be real. They're okay.
I couldn't do it, man. They just looked fun.
I think
they look boring.
And I think that's a big problem because now when you start producing things in these TV shows that could potentially tie into the films, people don't want to have to consume all that content. It's just too much. I don't have the time to watch several TV shows, then watch it on movies to make it all make sense.
I already struggle to watch TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like, how the hell am I going to find the time to catch up with all this Marvel bullshit just so I can go see one movie? Mm-hmm. Nah, man, that's too much, man.
See, that's the problem. I think
some of us have lives, all right?
Marvel is really banking too hard on quantity, while DC is losing on quality. Because like DC doesn't have as much going on, and man, they're not impressive their films at all.
No,
I can't even. I think the last DC film that I went to see in theaters, I can't even tell you the name of it.
Oh, the Joker.
Yeah, Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. That was the last DC film I saw in theaters.
And that was the last good DC film I've ever seen. All right.
No,
After that, none of them's been ever good.
Well, I watched the new Suicide Squad. It was pretty good.
Oh, that wasn't too bad.
That wasn't too bad.
It was okay. It was all right. It wasn't amazing, but it was okay. It was pretty good.
Well, in comparison to everything else DC's done, might as well call it a masterpiece.
True.
Like, it's really sad, the state of where they've come with the superhero films. Specifically with Marvel. Like, nobody's excited. I haven't seen any excitement for a Marvel film since Spider-Man.
No Way Home?
I believe it's No Way Home.
Homecoming? No Way Home?
Homecoming's the first one.
Oh, No Way Home, I think it was.
Yeah, No Way Home.
Yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home was the last thing that had hype. After that, nothing's had hype. Nobody cares anymore.
No. But it's because, again, I think it's just because the writers are out of touch.
It's not even the writers, but the thing
is...
No,
it is. It's not even the writers, but it's a lot of the higher-ups at Disney and that run these programs. Because they said that they were shocked that Quantum Mania failed, bro. I watched Quantumania in my own time, and it is literally horrible. Yeah. It has horrible pacing. Mm. What they did to MODOK is embarrassing as a character. They ruined an incredible villain.
I never saw it.
Don't watch it. It's shit. The thing is, the only two good things about Ant-Man Quantumania is honestly... oh my god, what's the main villain's name now that they're going with? I can barely remember. Yeah, Kang. He's great. He's actually good. He's a solid villain. And Ant-Man himself. The rest of it, all of it, could care less for. I did not give a shit about any of it. I hate that, like, even... oh my god. They introduced, like, Scott's daughter, Cassie, as a character, like, and she's insufferable and annoying. Mm. She's really not that interesting of a character. And it just... there's too many characters. It's called Ant-Man and the Wasp. They should have just focused on Ant-Man and Wasp. Literally just these two characters. But they just have so many characters that are becoming central parts of the story that it feels like they're really... struggling to give everyone showtime, and it's so all over the place, and it's just a mess of a film. It's just hard to watch, man. And the new Thor is probably the worst one of them all.
I didn't see it.
That one, again, watching it on time, I was like, I don't know what, I'm gonna be grinding World of Warcraft, let me give it a peek. That film is so god awful, it's insane.
And I heard that also the Marvels was not good at all. It was the worst performing Marvel film in the box office yet.
That's rough. I didn't even bother watching it.
Every new Marvel film coming out in theaters
is
bombing harder than the last.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Dude, they don't know what they're doing. And no offense, but who cares about the Marvels? Nobody does. That's the problem.
I don't think that's the problem at all.
No, I think they should be... here's the thing. Pick better characters to adapt.
I don't think that's it. I think you're wrong.
I don't know. Nobody likes Brie Larson, though. Nobody likes her.
Well, she did that to herself. Let's be real.
Yeah, but nobody likes her. So why are you putting her in more films?
It's not that nobody likes Brie Larson. Brie Larson made herself unlikable when it came to the superhero fans because of the way she did the marketing for her own film.
It was horrible, bro.
So dumb.
God, the press conferences and stuff she did was so cringe.
It's just like you're really going out of your way to make sure your film doesn't sell, and the core audience for these films don't like you. It was the dumbest thing that you possibly could have done. I can't even believe they let her do it. Like, I'll be real. That was just mind-boggling.
I'm surprised they had nobody be like...
yeah, because she's a good actress. She's a good actress.
That's the worst part.
She's great.
She is a good actress. I've seen her in good films.
Yeah, but she bombed it herself, her first film, because of her attitude. It really ruined the whole thing. Because you already made people already not want to watch it to spite you. That was just dumb as shit.
True.
But regardless of that, you can say, the characters don't matter. I think, again, it comes down to writing. That they're not writing the characters in a way that's relatable.
More so, it's not the character, it's how they portray the character.
Well, it's because when they write the story, right, they're trying to go out of their way to write a great action film or superhero film. But then you look into something in contrast, what James Gunn did with The Last Guardians of the Galaxy. He wrote a good film, period. You know, he wrote something with it had a lot of emotion. You know,
it felt like more than just a superhero.
Yeah,
film.
It did. It felt like it's a superhero film, but it had more depth.
I think it's the problem with most of the Marvel stuff nowadays is that they can't write a good character.
No,
they can't write. They can't make you like the character.
They're hiring writers that don't really actually present these characters in a way that is likable or relatable.
It feels like they don't even know who the character is.
Yes,
that's
feel
the
lost.
Biggest problem.
They feel genuinely
they have
lost.
No idea who they don't tackle the character.
Nope.
They just tackle about they just try to make a movie.
It's that's like for when it comes to the character. Oh my God, what's her name? Oh my God, I don't know. What's her name? Miss Marvel or something?
I don't know.
She has like the stretchy arms in the original or whatever.
Like
when I see anything about the actress, she seems so knowledgeable and so in love with her character.
She seems like a super fan.
She's so passionate.
I feel so bad for her because she's genuinely passionate about the role.
Yep.
But the writers and the executives there, they're working.
I feel like they're not doing it enough justice because
they're so out of touch. You have someone who genuinely cares about the source material and everything.
Yeah. And
you're allowing their movie to bomb?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I see how dedicated she is and how much she loves.
It's such a shame, dude.
It is, you know, it kind of like falls apart and it's not her fault. Like she truly is passionate about it. You know, she wants it to be successful. But again, it's the writers. They're writing stories that people are not interested in.
Yeah.
You know, they're not writing good stories. You know? Like, for example, what is one of the biggest things when it comes to superhero films that flops the hardest? Usually they're villains. That's insane. When you think of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, another good example, the villain. Phenomenal. Interesting villain. Mm-hmm. Very, very good. You know? Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of these films are developing villains that are so pointless. And they feel like more like a cannon fodder. Like, oh, villain of the week.
It feels like a filler.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
all
feel
right, here's filler villain number 1. Let's see how he does. Oh, he doesn't do jack shit. Cool.
Exactly. Like, they're not writing characters with substance to basically further.
Not that, but I feel like here's the problem. They're not writing characters of substance, and they're not writing villains to challenge the character properly.
No.
And I think that's the biggest problem as well. You know, if you don't have a villain that can challenge the characters, they can't develop.
Yeah, because like you think of it, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I hate using this as an example predominantly.
It was the most recent superhero film we saw.
Okay, even No Way Home, Green Goblin.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry, Green Goblin. What happens in that film with Green Goblin interacting with Peter of this dimension? Dude, it totally furthers the plot. It develops his character, and it really throws him into turmoil. Yep. Same thing for Rocket.
And it also makes him kind of question everything he's done. Everything he's ever believed in.
And see, that's the kind of villains that they need to basically...
They need a villain that throws the character off their track, essentially.
And be a challenge.
Yeah.
And I feel like with a lot of Marvel films, is like they're missing that. Even DC, you know, they can use iconic villains, but they don't represent them properly. No. You know, I really do feel
they don't make them threatening enough. They don't make it look like, oh, this is a life or death situation. It's just like, all right, how do they win this time?
Yeah, they need better villains because I think the villain is the key component.
I think they need a better villain and they need more at risk.
More at risk, but also I think at the end of the game, period, it's writing. I think the biggest problem with modern films in general, modern cinema, is lousy writers. I truly believe it. They're really...
I honestly think they should fire a lot of these writers and just get new people in.
Just get new...
They keep picking the same goddamn guys over and over again.
Yeah.
Like Disney, you have to get rid of them. Clearly, they've not been doing anything good for a long time now. Get new one. Get some new blood. Something. Like, just change it. If it's not working, change it. That's it.
Yeah. It's not working. I don't know what the next Marvel film is. Maybe it's Deadpool, I think. Which, you know...
I don't count Deadpool. I know Deadpool's going to be good. That's the problem.
I'm not worried about Deadpool.
No, that's a film I'm not worried about.
Again, because Ryan Reynolds is working on it, too, with the script and that. And, you know, again, it's another actor that actually loves the character he's portraying. You know, and he has work in... But he actually, luckily, has the
creative freedom to actually put input
into it and such. And it's very fortunate for that. You know,
I'm generally not worried about that film. They got Hugh Jackman back, so you already know it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a banger.
That's it. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman together, dude. That's a match made in heaven.
But anything after that film, I'm deeply concerned, and I don't know.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah, I've actually lost interest in like superhero films.
I've lost interest in the superhero films, and it's not because superheroes suck. Superheroes are great. There's some great characters that should be adapted, that should be put on the big screen.
Not only that, but there's also already great stories to adapt too.
Yeah, but just missed potential. I think it's again, it's just writers are just, they're so out of touch with what people actually want to see.
Yeah.
I feel like the biggest problem is that even some of these directors and writers are writing what they want to see, not what the people want to see. And I think that's the biggest problem. They're writing, this is my version of this. And it's just like, no, give us something.
You're doing a Spider-Man film. You're going to do a Spider-Man film. If you're going out of your way to represent your own kind of like Spider-Man, like your own spin on it and stuff like that, it's like,
nobody wants to see
no
that.
one wants to see
Nobody
that.
asked. Nobody wants
and
it.
That's the problem with a lot of people that work on these popular IPs. You could take video games is a perfect example too.
Oh God.
You know, a lot of these people have these egos. You know, like think of The Witcher. You know, as a perfect example, the ego of these writers to be like, oh no, we're gonna do it our own way, bro. Nobody wants to watch that shit. You lost your lead actor because of your ego. You know, if you really want to do that, write an original story. Do not work on an existing IP.
Yeah, just because you're an unsuccessful writer and you can't make something creative on your own, you have to use another IP to bring about your own ideals. Like, go screw yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
Nobody asked. Go get a real job.
And I think that's one of the biggest problems when it comes to the writers on these stories. They're not sticking to source material stuff. Like, if you want to spin it with your own flavor, I get it. But at the end of the day, a Spider-Man movie's got to be a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, at the end of the day, here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's The Witcher. It's not fanfic, all right, buddy?
Yeah.
Like, you keep it as The Witcher. Keep it as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just, for the love of God, don't break away from what makes it great.
Yeah.
All right? And I think that's the problem. They try to make it their own thing.
Yeah.
And you should never do that. Nobody wants your own thing. They want...
Yep.
If they came for Spider-Man, they're getting Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
And that's how you're going to make the money.
It's like you go to a place that's known for making burgers. You're going to go and get yourself a burger. All right? You're not going to go and get a salad. You're not an idiot. You know? What you go order a burger, they give you a salad. What are you going to do? You're going to complain. You didn't want that. Whatever, guys. I feel like, dude, this has gone on for so goddamn long.
Yeah, I think we're done.
All right, guys.
It's over.
This is the end of the podcast because we will never shut up about this because we are
passionate about
very passionate about the flops and the failures of cinema as a whole. Recently, more so recently, it's become a huge issue.
I think in the past 5 years, it's gotten worse.
I feel like it keeps going downhill, and the biggest problem is the writers, and then the directors. The actors seem like the least of the problem lately. I feel like I don't blame the actors that much compared to the writers and the director. Because at the end of the day, the director says cut and the writers write the script. So everything that's being said is from them.
Yeah.
You have to take that in consideration. They're the biggest problem.
There's only so much an actor can do with the content.
An actor can't save a bad film or a bad script. They can't do it.
Nope. But on that note, we're gonna peace on out.
We're gonna peace on out, guys. We'll see you guys next time. It was nice to be here. It was nice to
whine and complain.
Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.